G'day YouTube, Down to Bricks here. Well, I'm pretty excited to share with you my latest project. It's been a long time between drinks that I've done a Star Wars project, so I was very happy to be building something Star Wars again. So today we are having a look at the TIE Crawler, also known as the TIE Tank or the Century Tank. The TIE Crawler is an Imperial ground vehicle taken from the expanded universe. It's a vehicle I've always really liked the look of, and I was really keen to give it a go myself. Now, Lego have produced a TIE Crawler before, back in 2007, and that was set 7664, had 548 pieces and came with 2 minifigs. Going into this build, I did know that Lego had produced one before, and I have looked at it numerous times in the past in the thoughts of possibly picking it up. But directly before starting this build, I really didn't want to have any of Lego's images in my mind, and I actually just Googled online and found these schematics to help me with the design process. I also used these images here to really guide me through this build. While I did use these images and the schematics as a guide for my build, I did take a few liberties and I changed a couple of things up a little bit. Of course, I was limited with Lego pieces themselves and actually getting the strength in the structure to hold the whole thing together. Now, I didn't do a piece count as I put this together, but with the tank treads there, I would estimate that this build is over 1,000 pieces. So while it's not a big build, a lot has gone into it. But enough of me rambling on, let's take a closer look. First, I just mentioned the minifigure. Now, that is the minifigure that came with the Lego TIE Crawler. It is, of course, the Shadow Trooper. I think it's a fantastic looking minifigure and a great pilot slash gunner for the TIE Crawler. Okay, so let's jump in and take a closer look at the TIE Crawler. Now, from the outset, I based this whole cockpit design on the Rebels TIE Advanced prototype. Originally, I was trying to replicate the axle housings of the TIE tank down into this section here and really have more of these cylinder pieces, and I've ended up just using one down in there, and you can't really see it too much anymore because I did actually sort of change the design a little bit. What I've actually had to do is really just use these slope pieces, and that's just to add more strength into this section here to hold the weight of the track pieces, because there is a lot of parts in those and they are very weighty. So what I ended up doing to help with that extra support is I've actually gone right through this inner wall here of this track piece, and I've actually attached it to the outer panel, and that's just helped give it a little bit more support. So looking along the front here, I've got a couple of lights here to help light up the terrain. We've got our weapons down in front here. So we've got medium blaster cannons here, and we've got a light turbo laser down on the bottom here, and this gives it considerable firepower. So that is actually supposed to be retractable. Now, while I didn't make it retractable, it is a turret, so I can spin it around and I can turn it all the way to the back if need be. A few other little things I've added in. I have added this piece here that I'm basically calling the sensor array, and I've got a little radar dish here as well. For the color choice, I really did like the look of the images I've showed where it's just all dark grey. So I really wanted to eliminate the use of light bluish grey and black in this build, but I also wanted to give it a little splash of colour, and ever since the introduction of the sand blue in the TIE Striker from Lego, which I just thought was a fantastic colour combination, I really wanted to add the sand blue into this build. Now, perhaps I did go a little bit overboard with the sand blue, but it's such a fantastic colour, I really couldn't help myself. So let's continue having a look around the build. have a look at the side panel here. I really did try to eliminate the studs on the build. There's only a few studs showing on the whole build itself, so it's really just all tiled up. Tried to have a little bit of depth using the cheese slopes and just building this section up here a little bit, and then just using these shield pieces, these tile pieces here. Great piece to use just to help border the edges here, and a little bit of depth in the middle there as well. If we keep going around to the back, I'm just such a big fan of this design with this whole tail piece, the design of the crawler. So looking from the back here, now if I just show this again, these are the fuel tanks here along the back, and if you remember from the schematics I showed, there is actually supposed to be 4 tanks, and the idea is the whole length of this is really supposed to be kept inside of this track piece. So I didn't want to make this tail bit too long. I could have shortened these slopes here, and if I took these pieces out in between the tanks, I could actually fit 4 in there. But overall, I really like this more spaced out look, and I think it sort of hasn't come out too bad. I think I can get away with having just the 3 fuel tanks. So looking from the back, just got a little bit of detail down along the sides here, and some rear lights there as well. Underneath here we have the exhaust ports. Now, while I did say I wanted to eliminate the use of light grey, I did want to add a little bit just to break it up, mainly just to help break up these fuel tanks that just really didn't all blend in together. And I also really wanted to use this printed top hatch here, which of course you can only get in light grey. So instead of just having the light bluish grey just on top, I really wanted just to help tie that in. So I've really just got it coming back on this whole tail piece here right to the end. I think this is probably a good way to show you the strength of it. Now, there is a little bit of a sag. If I pick it up here, you can see a little bit of movement there, but overall it's not too bad. As I said, there is a lot of weight in these pieces, and it was a bit of a struggle to get enough connection to make this nice and sturdy. So let's take you into the cockpit itself. We can lower this front hatch and lift the top hatch here. Now, to show you inside, I'll actually just remove this piece here. It'll help show inside, and we'll take the pilot gunner out. Now, he's got to be pretty skillful, this guy, because he's got to be able to drive the tank and operate all the weapon system as well. So I really wanted to have a lot of equipment inside here to really show how complicated it is to pilot this vehicle. So as you can see, I've got some printed slopes down this side, a few other panels as well. Up the sides we've got the steering yoke here. It's a studless system to sit your pilot in there, and down this side there's a bit of a vent there and another printed slope. So fair bit of detail on the inside in a very small area. It was quite enjoyable designing that section as well. And sitting our pilot back in there, he's all ready to go. So as I said, he is a gunner as well, and I have pointed out these weapons here already, but I did think that because it's a ground vehicle, it doesn't always mean that it's going to be up against other ground vehicles. Of course, it's going to be attacked from above as well. So I thought it needed a defense for that. And if we turn to the side here, I've pulled one of the panels out already, and we have some surface to air missiles here. So it really is a vehicle not to be messed with. So if we take a look down this side, I will take this panel out and I can show you how all that works. So I wanted to lock it in there as well, and I wanted to continue with this design here. So you do need to remove this shield tile here. So if I take that off, and you can use these slopes here to actually pull the panel out. Now I can, if I want, just attach that back on there. I need to get my other hand in there. And you can just sit it up like so. But if I take that off, so we can actually flip it around and have a look, and I can show you how that is attached. So I have just used the droid arms here to attach that on the inside of that panel, and there you can see the missile. So I can lift it right up like that. We can come straight out like that, or just tilt it out a little bit like so, and then that just folds back away. It's a little bit tricky sometimes to get the arms to fold up in the right way, but it just does fold up like so, and we clip that back on, and it's all tucked away. And quickly, just to show that it does roll, I do have to put it down on the carpet to get enough traction, but there we go. So it is a lot of fun. Well, I hope you enjoyed this look at my tie crawler. I have to admit, I did have a lot of fun putting this together, and it really was a challenge. It is certainly not the best design and could do with a bit of improvement, but overall I think it turned out pretty good. But I would love to hear from you guys. Give me your thoughts, put it in the comment, let me know what you like about it, what I could possibly improve on. I'd love any feedback you might have. Now, if you did enjoy this video, please give me a thumbs up, that would be awesome. And if you've stumbled onto my channel for the first time, why don't you go and check out my playlist. I'm sure you'll find some videos you'll enjoy, and why not hit that subscribe button as well. So I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Please check out my description below for my Amazon link for all your Amazon shopping. Thanks everybody for your support, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.